The younger teen who pleaded guilty to charges related to the shooting at STEM School Highlands Ranch was sentenced today. Sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole just a short while ago. But today we wanted to focus on the victims. Kendrick Castillo died in the shooting, lauded as a hero for joining other classmates to rush the shooters. 8 others were also shot, 2 of them by a private security guard who helped detain one of the teen suspects. Now, the sentencing was supposed to happen in May, but was delayed because of the pandemic. And today, Kendrick's father said that it was important for survivors to have a chance to speak, and then shared his own message.
Brave, be strong, be like Kendrick Castillo. Forge a new path. Stand up to things. Don't be afraid. I'll continue to fight and be an activist for change. And I need people behind me who feel the same way.
Was just a snapshot of today's testimony. We have much more about what was said today, both inside the courtroom and out on our website. The older suspect's next court hearing is expected to be in September. Well, the area in and around the Capitol has been the subject of angry letters, tweets, and a murder investigation over the last week or so. And right now, it's also playing host to a protest against the use of federal law enforcement in Portland, Oregon. There are no federal officers on Denver streets right now. We did tell you yesterday how a state GOP lawmaker from Colorado Springs wants the president to send federal resources to Denver to protect the area around the Capitol and then stop further vandalism there. Well, this group that you're looking at, that's been out there for about an hour or so now, they're not going to have to worry about the feds, but perhaps they would have to worry about Colorado State Patrol. CSP troopers were given extra power this week by the city of Denver. Troopers can now issue citations at the Capitol and Lincoln Park if protesters violate Denver ordinances like vandalism and assault. Civic Center Park, meanwhile, is still under Denver Police's jurisdiction. Now, when Denver saw its last protest on Sunday, pro-police ralliers were outnumbered by counter-protesters. We were also hearing claims that Denver police did nothing to stop the violence between the two groups. Well, today we put a bruised face to one of those claims. Our Marshall Zellinger talked to the man who was injured at the rally, who said that he didn't even mean to be there.
If you come with me.
Jay served in the military.
You can see where the graffiti.
Cleaning the Veterans War Memorial between the Capitol and Civic Center Park has more meaning for him.
There's some fresh graffiti right there, and I'm probably going to go after this interview and wipe that off.
On Sunday, he said he saw the Back the Blue pro-police rally and walked over to check it out.
And when I came down here, there wasn't a whole lot of people, maybe 100, and somebody came running in and said, "They're coming, they're coming."
Counter-protesters were coming. Sky 9 caught the moment when Jay was on the ground near the stage.
Somebody had kicked me on the side of the head here, and the result was this bruise.
On Next yesterday, you heard Denver's manager of safety deny that there was an order for police to stand down and not protect the protesters from violence.
It would be out of the character of the Denver Police Department to allow an assault to happen right in front of them without intervening. I can say with good authority that I don't believe that story is true.
I absolutely disagree with that. I was there and I saw what the police were doing. I saw no fewer than 5 assaults. It was both sides that were breaking up the altercations and not the police at all.
There was one arrest at the rally, Karen Sodero, who lists her job on Facebook as an occupier at Occupy Denver. The police report states she assaulted a woman, grabbed her by the hair, and threw her to the ground. Police also arrested Sodero in May when Denver was enforcing its curfew because of protests around the Capitol, where protests are happening right now and where Jay plans to avoid.
It just breaks my heart that we're having to deal with that and people aren't able to get their voices heard, or they feel like they can't get their voices heard on either side without resorting to some sort of physical altercation, and that's a dangerous recipe.
Police did not arrest anyone over what happened to Jay. For Next, I'm Marshall Zellinger.
It's been nearly 2 months since a lot of people made promises to keep talking about racism after George Floyd died. But are we still talking about racism the way that we had promised just a short 2 months ago? Here's a part of our conversation with Dr. Nita Mosby-Tyler and Dr. Ryan Ross.
Yeah, I actually do think that people are talking about race at the same level, but they're doing it differently. I think the work is turning in now. It's turning into organizations.
I'm seeing meetings where now you've got 800 people from across the state on the Zoom.
And people got reflective. We made a few changes legislatively or legally, and then we forgot the rest. That's a risk factor for us.
What do we do next to make sure this conversation keeps going?
I think we have to push the business community and other organizations to really show what the action is to their statements.
We need to be looking at the connections of all systems. You hear things like defund the police and take those funds and put them in social work, but do we know enough about the system of social work? And does it have some of the same issues inside of that system?
At the individual level, we have to continue to call things out.
To be anti-racist means you're always looking at systems, and to be anti-racist means you're always looking at yourself.
I think we're all tired of seeing injustice, so the faster we act, the quicker we don't have to be tired anymore. We can actually celebrate people thriving.
Those last points made in that piece is something that we can all act on. Acknowledge the changes that have been made, but then continue to reflect in our personal lives, our businesses, and our communities, and continue to find ways that we can be a part of the solution. Well, we have shared her story a number of times here on Next over the last year, so we wanted to make sure that you knew about a planned memorial tonight for Alexis Bounds. Now, today is marking 1 year since she was hit and killed while riding her bike at the intersection of East Bayard Avenue and South Marion Parkway. Right after her death, some people living in that area said that they did not support adding extra bike protections for cyclists because it would interfere with the historic look and feel of that neighborhood. That area has been closed off to motorists since the pandemic hit, and early next year, construction is expected to start on a bike lane. A memorial bike ride in Alexis's honor is planned for 8 o'clock tonight. Now, so far, bike-related deaths and injuries are down in Denver from last year. However, a cyclist was hit and killed in Aurora last night. They were hit by a car on East Hampden Avenue. It has been a week of records for COVID-19 testing in the state. After processing more than 12,000 tests for the very first time last Sunday, the state processed more than 13,000 tests today. Our positivity rate took a slight dip. The 7-day average is around 4.3%. That goal there, as we said before, we want to stay below 5%. So how many germs are actually spread when a band plays? That is the exact question a CU Boulder researchers are tackling as competitions are being canceled and college bands are wondering if they're even going to get a chance to play at all this season.
Yeah, there wasn't even really a question once I got to high school, like what did you want to do for college? I was like, I want to study music.
I have been playing the flute, I'm gonna say 12 years now. Pretty much everything that I've done since I started playing the flute when I was about 11 has been around music.
We are bringing in musicians and performers, singers, even actors into our chamber.
It's kind of one of those things that's just like, oh my gosh, Mom, guess what I did?
What I did was I went to the aerosol particle lab here to play.
You just sit in this little test room by yourself and you have this music and you have to like hold the horn right here next to like a microphone. And
I am looking at where the flow comes out of these instruments or out of the mouth. What kind of a spacing do you need between musicians? What instruments will emit more particles than others?
And it showed actually with horn that not very much air comes out. There's about 20 foot of tubing in this thing. So there's lots of nooks and crannies for it to get caught in.
Whereas flute, we leak air in 3 different places. And so that makes measuring our plume and our dispersal of particles a lot more challenging.
We need art and music more than ever. And so to have things canceled when maybe there are things you can do to make it safe enough.
Where a lot of people have felt, you know, kind of powerless. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing or what their purpose is. And so in a way, I feel like I'm doing something about it.
Hey, there are things that can make it a little bit safer. Based on the initial results, the organization that funded the study is recommending using covers, 6 feet of distance between performers, having everyone face the same direction, and then using filters for any indoor rehearsal rooms. So we wanted to take a moment here on this Friday to give you a big thank you for your generosity. This is through our Word of Thanks campaign, and you guys have helped us raise $16,000 for the nonprofit Struggle of Love. The City of Denver just gave the nonprofit a micro grant to continue their work against youth violence. And next, viewers, you guys are seriously incredible. You doubled that, $5 at a time, in just about 48 hours. The group has also had a flood of people asking to volunteer as well. So if you're still interested, there is time to donate. You can text thanks to the number on your screen, 303-871-1491, and we will send you a link so you can donate.
Smiling underneath your mask, it's all in the eyebrows.
I'm giving your best smile.
Your Friday good news is making us smile. And what a time to plant the seeds of a new career.
And I have been officially a farmer, I don't know, since February, so like not quite 6 months.
A lesson in growing from adversity next.
4 Denver City Council members have submitted ideas for potential locations for homeless camping sites. This is in response to the mayor's request. So the 11 suggested locations, they include parking lots near Mile High and Coors Field. The city says that they're going to be going over these suggestions, looking at a number of different factors like neighborhood impact, flooding potential, size, and cost.
Anusha, it's Friday. We made it through the week, as Gary Shapiro always likes to tell us, and we have big changes going into the weekend. Keep the rain jacket and the umbrella handy, and how about cooler temperatures? We were back in the 90s again today. We've had 90s all week, triple-digit highs on the eastern plains. Well, cooler weather is coming in, along with the chance for heavy rain from slow-moving storms tracking from the southwest to the northeast. Last night in the far northeastern corner, 6 to 8 inches of rain, and there's more moisture coming. So if you haven't seen the rain in Denver yet, there's still a chance yet tonight and tomorrow that you will. We get a break late tonight, skies will clear, and then that push of moisture off across the western slope moves over the urban corridor between 3 and 9, and that rain will be heavy. Tonight, showers, cloudy skies, and a low at 63. Tomorrow, partly sunny, 86. That'll feel nice, with a chance for heavy rain for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Then we dry out on Wednesday, warm up the first part of next week. Anusha, back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Kathy. Appreciate it. Well, staying relevant in the time of COVID is definitely something a lot of businesses are grappling with. Take a flower grower in Arvada who quickly realized that there was something that a lot of people still needed help with, and that was food. So she ended up pivoting her business.
When we first found the farm, it felt magical and it felt like it was meant to be shared. My name is Krista Kushik, and I have been officially a farmer, I don't know, since February, so like not quite 6 months. Gardening has always been my zen place. Crescendum Flower Farm and Events, which kind of describes the name. We're starting our seeds in February. We had just officially launched our business, and then March came and COVID suddenly became much more real. But yeah, it allowed us to kind of pivot into this newer idea of growing some vegetables as well. Every single vegetable either is consumed by us or we give a few to the neighbors, but it's all given away. And last week we had our biggest donation of 80 pounds for one single donation, but we're always going to keep a portion of it to be shared because, you know, a lot of people are not in the same position that we are and they don't have that fortune. And I know that a lot of the food banks were already stressed before COVID, and I imagine even more so. So to be able to get that fresh stuff, just because people are on hard times doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to have that access. That circle that all goes around where it's beneficial to everyone, including ourselves, to be more generous with what we have. When you're given manure, grow flowers or vegetables.
So Krista has donated over 200 pounds of veggies to Arvada Food Banks, Community Table, and Hope Community and Connection. When we were there on Wednesday, she had harvested another 33 pounds that will be donated.
When I have an attitude, you know, you can see it on my face, but a lot of people can't tell if I got this mask on.
Expressing our feelings is a little tougher with masks on. You
try to just kind of use my eyes, maybe like move them a little bit.
You just have to remember to smile with your eyes. Next.
A lot of us might be able to say that we have worn a mask at some point in our lives, figuratively, and now we literally have to wear it, and it makes communicating a little bit trickier, and our eyes, they're working overtime right now. And just with our eyes, our good news today is making us smile.
Have you ever heard the expression, the eyes are the window to the soul?
You think of smile, you think of teeth, like show your teeth and everything, but now it's like you gotta smile with your eyes.
I feel like your eyes really give off a language for sure.
When I have an attitude, you know, you can see it on my face, but a lot of people can't tell if I got this mask on.
How do your eyes look when you get mad?
It's more of like the death stare.
Are you smiling? You're smiling right now? Give me your best smile.
When you look at the eyes, it gives you like a certain message, I feel, rather friendly, rather I don't want to be bothered.
I think the masks have had a lot of effect on making us all anonymous with each other.
Yeah, that's a big smile. So I don't know how to make my eyes any bigger.
Some people might not even be able to tell that you're smiling.
If it's gonna help, you know, save lives, it's totally fine.
Show me a smile.
There you go. There it is. It hasn't been seen since March.
How's it feel to take that off and smile?
I feel naked.
Oh, that was amazing. It is a sign that 2020 is basically a grace period. Thank you, COVID-19. We'll have that story and your feedback next. It is a sign that COVID-19 is the new dog ate my homework excuse. Our viewer Greg saw this on a truck at a stoplight in Westminster. Instead of a license plate, the driver put a home state-made sign on their car reading, "Purchased during COVID-19 will plate ASAP." In their defense, the DMV was closed for a while and now has a bunch of changes in place for how they can do business because of the pandemic. All right, thanks for hanging out. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.